Prelims is primarily for filtering out those candidates which are non-serious candidates, right? Whatever the mains examination is, this mains examination consists of one paper of essay, very slight little effort, they can be achieved, they can be done, and that's why in the prelims examination we should be taking economics seriously. Most of the organizations provide the brief of it. Even Vision provides a brief which is online available. It's online free material available. So when it comes to sources, keep your sources limited. Don't jump here and there. This is one of the common mistakes. Again, avoid from that. There are 5 major things related to economy from beginning to final. That is, you must understand that economy is something very important from prelims point of view.
UPSC preparation begins with one practical question. How do you turn a vast syllabus into a clear, workable study process? That clarity does not come from adding more material. It comes from a structure that decides sequence, priority and review. The Delhi GS Foundation course at Vision IS is built around that structure. Core subjects are taught in a planned flow, so concepts build instead of overlapping. Current affairs are integrated with static topics, so relevance is clear from the start. Tests are used to check understanding at the right stage, not just to measure scores. Mentorship focuses on keeping preparation aligned as the syllabus progresses. The result is a preparation process that stays steady and predictable, even as the syllabus expands. If you are looking for a structured approach to general studies, covering both prelims and mains with regular guidance and review, this course provides that framework. Vision IS Delhi GS Foundation course starting from 6th January at 11 am, 16th January at 8 am and 23rd January at 5 pm at Karol Bagh and 7th January at 6 pm for English and 12th January at 11 am for Hindi at GTB Nagar. For more information, visit our website or call us on the given numbers.
Alright, so I'm sure you have already heard a lot about how to prepare and other things. So in this session, as you know, the objective of this open sessions are to help you out that how to prepare for examination starting from the beginning and till end. And by now you have understood or must be knowing that this examination called UPSC is 3-stage examination. As you know, there's a prelims examination, then there's mains examination, and then there is interview. And these 3 layers, prelims is primarily for filtering out those candidates which are non-serious candidates, right? So with this prelims, they filter out that who are non-serious candidates, and then you get mains examination. And in the mains examination, as you know, but then even I would like to start from there only. I'm sure you have been told, but then even. If you see that what exactly this UPSC examination is all about, I will start from that beginning. So in this UPSC examination, there is one ministry that is called Ministry of Personnel. Ministry of Personnel. So this ministry, which is for government, they need certain officers, right? As you know, some get retired, new jobs are needed. So what they do, they ask UPSC that why don't you conduct an examination, because we need certain officials. That's how this examination is in 3 stages, as you know, called prelims, mains, and interviews. Now this prelims examination is primarily the filtration round. And when I say filtration round, what exactly it means? That as there are many candidates, lakhs of candidates, taking mains examination for all of them is not practically possible. So what we do, we make a filter first. So we identify those who are serious candidates, those who are good candidates, so that actual competition can be done between them. That's why in the prelims examination, if you see, it's a simple filtration round. It's simple filtration round, that how many of them are serious candidates. And that's why here you got 2 papers. One is what we call GS paper of 200 marks, GS1. And then you have one paper called CSAT of 200 marks. And those who qualify, they go for mains examination, right? I'm sure you have heard of it, you know it. Now, in the mains examination, whatever you score in prelims is not important. You have to just qualify. And then whatever the mains examination is, this mains examination consists of one paper of essay, then 4 paper of GS, paper 1, GS paper 1, GS paper 2, GS paper 3, GS paper 4. So there are 4 papers of GS. Each paper, that is essay 250 marks, GS1 250 marks, GS2 250 marks. That's how 4 paper of GS 250 marks, 1 paper of essay 250 marks, make it total how much? 1250. Then you have one optional having 2 papers, paper 1 and paper 2, each of them 250 marks, making it total of how much? Now 1750. In 1750 plus you have interview that is of 275 marks, making it total of how much? That is 2025. Now in this 2025 your marking is done. In this 2025 your marking is done, and accordingly you will get your jobs, that what kind of jobs are there, what kind of, depending on what your preference is, whether the jobs are available or not. I'm sure you're knowing it, but this is how you should be knowing at least a basic thing. That's why you should strategize accordingly. In today's session, I'll talk about how economy is important at all these stages, and what are those things which you should do, what are those things which you should avoid, and what are the major, you can say, components which you have to cover. Fine. To start with, as per prelims are concerned, that's why in this slide, the first thing I have talked about, which you must understand, many students do this mistake. It's not the economics which they ask. What they ask is called Indian economy. So they are not asking economics, they are asking Indian economy. And when I say Indian economy, what does it mean? It is highly unlikely that they will ask you economics theories and big things. What they will ask you, that whether you understand basic economics or not, whether Indian economy you are aware of it, that what kind of resources are there, what kind of management is needed in the Indian economy, what are the challenges concerned, right? That's why I don't call it economics. It is actually Indian economy and its interaction with the rest of the world. That how Indian economy is dealing with the rest of the world. Now, if you see, in this first slide, I have talked about, first you should know the weightage part. So, as per the weightage is concerned, in the prelims examination, almost 50 to 20 questions are asked from economy, Indian economy, 15 to 20 questions. It may be slightly lesser, slightly higher, but 15 to 20 is the average, right? And again, it's quite possible that out of these 15 questions, 12, 13 questions can be done. Why? Because they deliberately keep economics question little easier. in India we do not have much of financial awareness, is the reason why they keep economics questions relatively simpler. They don't ask very tweak kind of question, not very tricky question. The questions are straightforward. Either you know it or you don't know it, kind of. And that's why it's possible in the prelims examination that out of 15, 10, 12 question can be easily achieved. And if you're achieving 12 question, overall 50 question is maximum required for cutoff. So don't you think almost 1/5 of the journey is covered? Almost 5th. That's why economics is considered as a core subject which you should not miss from prelims examination point of view. And again, out of those 15 questions, trust me, 7, 8 questions are very low hanging fruits. They can be easily done with a little effort. With a very slight little effort, they can be achieved, they can be done. And that's why in the prelims examination, we should be taking economics seriously. Then, if you see in the mains examination, as I told you, GS have 4 papers. In the mains examination, in paper 3, almost half of the paper belongs to economic. So in GS 3, almost we have 7, 8 questions which belong to Indian economy. And then there may be one essay also, not necessarily all the time, but there may be one essay also belonging to what you can say socio-economic topics like poverty, inclusive growth, and these kind of things. And then there are slight differences when it comes to the nature of questions in prelims and mains. In prelims, questions are based upon that whether you're understanding terms and terminologies or not, that whether basic terms and terminologies are clear to you or not, whether understanding what are the current affairs happening around you, whether you're understanding whatever national international developments are. In mains, they ask questions related to planning, they ask questions related to resource management, agriculture, infrastructure, and these kind of things. So nature of questions are slightly different. So prelims, there are some topics more important, while in mains some other topics might be more important. In fact, on the basis of various inputs from the students, those who got selected, those who could not make it, but they were good students, if you see the inputs of all these, I identified there are 5 major concerns which should be acknowledged. First thing first, that you should know the syllabus itself. Most of the students do this mistake, they do not know what the syllabus is and how to move further. So first is syllabus, definitely. Second is the source. So syllabus is again important, that you should know that what you should study. And second is source. When it comes to source, keep your sources limited. That's very important. Don't think that it's very wise that you're going and reading a number of books. That you know some people do this mistake, that they purchase this book, that book, and so and so. Don't go for a number of books. On the contrary, keep your resources limited, but make sure that those resources are authentic and can be trusted. In fact, in this examination, this is actually important to know what to read and more importantly, what not to read. This is where people go wrong. So not any book has to be read. You should be careful on that part. And then another thing is called handling current affairs. In economics, this is another problem you feel, that how to deal with the current affairs, because a lot of things are happening around you, a lot of development are there, economic developments. One more thing that is very important in this preparation is called the notes. How good your notes are. How good your notes are and why you should do the previous year question paper. So these are, you can say, 5 major concerns which you should be answered by the end of this session, right? Let's talk one by one. First is, what is syllabus, right? So as far as syllabus is concerned, look, what they ask, I had given you a quick list of it. First is that they ask questions on basic concepts, terms, terminologies. Like they have asked question like, which of the following is primary sector, secondary sector, tertiary sector. They have question which is fixed capital, working capital. They've asked question that law of demand, law of supply, and these kind of questions are asked. So they want you to have clarity for basic concepts. For this, NCERT could be very good source. Macroeconomics. There is one NCERT class 12th, macroeconomics, which is very good source for these kind of things. Then they may ask question related to the national income and its various attributes. So when it comes to national income, what is national income, what is GDP, what is GVA, how it is calculated, what are its various attributes, and so and so. Again, if you look carefully, the first topic is good from prelims point of view. The second topic is asked both in prelims and mains point of view. So every year you'll get 1 or 2 questions from basic concepts for sure. Every year you'll get 1 or 2 questions from national income in your prelims, and 1 question might be in mains. If you see last 5 years, 3 questions has been asked in 5 years about this growth part. Then very important part here is called development. In development, we got inclusive growth and the issues related to that. So when we say inclusive growth, what is inclusive growth? Every year in mains, if you ask me last 10-15 years, every year in mains, 1 question on inclusive growth is asked for sure. So what is inclusive growth and dimensions and all. Then they ask question on planning and associated issues also, that how the planning is done, what are 5-year plans, what are various challenges into the planning, what is role of planning commission, Niti Ayog, these kind of questions. Now we have Niti Ayog, so they ask question on that also. Very important from mains point of view. So if you see, the first topic is good from prelims point of view, second topic both prelims and mains, third topic is primarily for mains point of view. Then money and banking. Now this chapter is very, very important from prelims point of view. Now listen to me carefully. Every year you get at least 4 to 5 questions from this chapter in your prelims, money and banking. So if someone comes to me just 10 days before the prelims, he said, I have never read economy, what to do? I'll say read money and banking. At least you'll make sure that important questions are being done. So money and banking is very important from prelims point of view. Not that important from mains, but from prelims point of view. Then fiscal policy, budget, taxation and other dimensions. This topic is very, very important from both prelims and mains point of view. Like this year from fiscal policy and budget, they have asked 5 questions in your prelims. 5 questions in different ways. So that's how this topic is very important from both prelims and mains point of view. Inflation and related indices, that what is inflation, how it is calculated, what are various indexes of inflation, and all these kind of things are asked. That is inflation and related index. Then stock market and related dimensions. They may ask question on stock market also, that what is stock market, like they have asked question this year, that do you think there are protection for small investors or not. Last year they asked question that what is beta factor and all. So again, from inflation and stock market, they may ask question in prelims largely. Questions from stock market are not asked in mains, and they don't ask big thinky how to invest and all, but basic understanding whether you know what is market or not, how it works. Then the next topic is the sectoral analysis. Again, look, now these topics I deliberately made this separate slide. So the first slide I shown you before this, don't worry, these slides will be uploaded also on the link. So the first slide I have shown is very good from prelims and mains point of view. Now this side is primarily from mains point of view. All these topics are very important from mains point of view. When they ask question related to agriculture economics, that what is agriculture economics, food processing, what is called agriculture, livestock management. There may be questions related to the what is called agriculture marketing and so and so. Like this year they have asked question on agriculture marketing. Then they may ask question on industrial development, that what are various industrial policies, what are the challenges in the industrial policies, what are industries, like we are having now a lot of discussions on MSME, startup culture, so how that works, service sector, then what exactly inclusive growth are, what are SDGs, sustainable developmental goals, where we stand, food security, poverty and related issues, then issues of unemployment, how, again, from these topics listed here, trust me, and go and see the question paper also, these topics that makes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, if you see that from these 10 topics, every year in your mains, you'll get 4 to 5 questions, at least. That's how you should be identifying, you know now, that's why I kept them in separate slide, so that you know what are more important from prelims point of view, which issues are more important from mains point of view. So these are the topics which are more significant from mains point of view. Fine. So here we have agriculture, and India, for a country like India, agriculture is very important sector. We should be knowing, because of this huge population, if you don't have your own food production, how you can take care of them? And agriculture is also one of those sectors where we have maximum employment. Most of the people are employed in agriculture sector. So considering all these things, yes, it's very important. Then, in fact, they ask question on also what is balance of payment, international trade, what about IMF, WTO, World Bank, exchange rate. No, these kind of things they ask even in prelims also sometimes. They might be little on moderate to difficult level, but then even by and large, every year from balance of payment, IMF, World Bank, something is definitely asked in your prelims. At least 2 to 3 questions. So first slide which I shown in the syllabus, primarily each topic giving you 1 or 2 questions in prelims, along with the money and banking 5 question, and 2-3 question you will get from here. This is how your 14-15 questions are asked. Yeah, and then second slide which I have shown are largely from mains point of view. That's the reason why I kept them in the syllabus. I divided into these 3 separate slides. Now, from where I got to know these syllabus, obviously UPSC has told us. And not only that, if you see the previous year question paper also, based on the previous year question paper, you also get some hint that what might be asked. So on the basis of previous year question paper, plus the inputs from UPSC, that is how we come to know that what should be read. Fine. Now, very important part is of our discussion is now, perhaps very significant, that what should be the sources. Again, in this examination, one of the biggest mistake people do, that they jump on several books and notes and here and there. Keep your resources limited, but make sure whatever resources you have, you are doing it thoroughly. So resources should be limited, but you should be doing them thoroughly. Like one book, that is Macroeconomics Class 12th NCERT, is very, very important book from prelims and mains point of view both. Macroeconomics Class 12th. So NCERT Class 11th and 12th, especially the macroeconomics, is very important source. Then there is one document, I don't know how many of you are knowing it online or here, that what exactly, there is one document given by Ministry of Finance itself, that is called Economic Survey. Economic Survey, a very, very important document, Economic Survey given by Ministry of Finance. This Economic Survey obviously is a big document, so you're not supposed to read the entire document. Most of the organizations provide the brief of it. Even Vision provides a brief which is online available. It's online free material available, which you can refer to, that what exactly basic points of Economic Survey are. It's not going to be the entire detail, but basic points. But then even when it comes to Economic Survey, even government also provide a brief of it, that is called PIB report on Economic Survey. You can refer to that also. But Economic Survey should be at least brief, should be studied. Same goes with budget also. Now, you may have one standard book also, like there are various books available in the market. All of them are less or more having the same quality. But I must say that NCERT must be read. Along with NCERT, you may have any standard book. I'm not going to recommend any specific name per se. They all are same. In fact, various institutions are having, Vision also have its own study material. Various institutions are having their study material. These days, when informations are free floating, almost all resources are equal. It's up to you where you feel more comfortable, which source you feel more familiarity with, basis on the basis of the language, on the basis of methods. So either of the book, which you think is suitable, is good enough. And then there should be a question bank of previous year also. This is very important. You must have a question bank of previous years where all these things are kept, right? This is essential. Because again, look, how much you have read is not important. What is important is how many questions you have solved. Because once you solve question, you can identify, okay, this is how I should look at, this is how I should look at, this is where I can do mistake. And when I say solve question, prefer the previous year question paper. So there are various compilations now. What they do, they give you topic wise previous year question paper. So let's say GDP. So all the questions asked in GDP by UPSC, other examination, they put it at one place. That could be very good source. So you must have two sources at your disposal, the NCERT books and any previous year compilation, so that when you read something, you can do questions on that. Fine. That's how you can organize your preparation better. So when it comes to sources, keep your sources limited. Don't jump here and there. This is one of the common mistakes. Again, avoid from that. That don't jump here and there with this source, or this book, that book, and that kind of thing. But make sure whatever sources you're using, revise it more. In this examination, the biggest mistake you do is that you don't revise enough. Revision is very important. That more you revise, more you get the clarity of the things. Making sense? I'm handling all those questions which we started in the beginning one by one. So the next question which we highlighted in the top 5. So now you know the syllabus part, you know the source part, which I discussed in the beginning, these 5 concerns. So syllabus you're understanding, source you're understanding, you know the weightage in prelims and mains, which topic is important in prelims, which topic is important in mains, that is clear to you. Now next thing is how to handle current affairs. This is a big challenge because economics questions are more related about current affairs, right? So in that case, almost all institutions are having their own monthly magazine. Even Vision monthly magazine is very popular for that matter. Almost everyone study that. Any of the source you can refer to. Daily newses are also available these days, podcasts and all. But I will say, read newspaper, because not reading newspaper is a mistake. In fact, Indian Express comes with one section called Explained. In Indian Express, there's a very good section called Explained, which provides detail of various topics, how it is there. Wonderful compilation. One must refer to that. So Explained section, if you're not reading newspaper, what happens? Newspaper is something which is, again, open document. So if you're reading newspaper, then only you can have a better idea that what is going on and here or there. In the magazines, they might be very confined to only limited factors, right? So personally speaking, I believe that one should read newspaper. And while reading newspaper, give a definite time to it. It may be 1 hour, maybe 2 hour, 1.5 hour, but give a definite time to it. Read newspaper carefully. Fine. So one thing you should do, that read newspaper. While reading newspaper, don't try to make note of everything. Just read them, enjoy it, and then once you are, after reading newspaper, when you are reading current affairs magazine, then it will be more useful. Because you have already read it, you know something about it, and your information now when you're reading in the current affair will be further polished. So plan it that way, that you're reading newspaper every day, and then a magazine in a month might have 100 pages and all. That means a week might be required. So within the week you can finish it, and you have already read it, so not a big deal. So newspaper should be read, and you can follow any magazine. Vision is also having its own magazine. Then there is one thing called Special Magazine 365. This is for prelims and mains both, where the entire year information is provided in one booklet. That's called PT 365. It comes separately for each subject. In economics, listen to me carefully, for mains examination, this PT 365 is very useful. Why? Because for each sector, I have given the list: agriculture, industry, skill development, livestock. For each sector, we provide a quick compilation of major policies, programs, what needs to be done, what has been done, and basic statistics. So that is very useful in the last moment of revision. When you are revising the things, that time it will be very useful. So I strongly recommend that this should be your good compilation during the last days of preparation. And then obviously, as I just told you, that you should read the brief of budget and economic survey. Don't go for the detailed document, might be difficult, but at least read the brief of budget and economic survey. So these are the things you are supposed to read when it comes to that how to handle current affairs. Don't jump here and there, just read newspaper, enjoy it, and then take any one standard magazine at the end of the month. That will suffice. As you've already read the newspaper, you've already read in the magazine, before the examination, obviously these things can be easily recalled. So that is how you should be confining your resources. Again, limit your resources. Limit your resources. Don't read newspaper for more than 1.5 hour or 2 hours. Sometimes people spend a lot of money on time on what is called on newspapers and all. Just any newspaper. It may be Indian Express, it may be Hindu, whatever you're convenient with. But read only one newspaper. I have seen that some students get this habit of reading more than one newspaper also. That's also idiotic. One standard newspaper, either in Express, Hindu, or any other which you think is comfortable with. But newspaper should be read, and follow one standard magazine. That's it. This is applicable not only for economics, even other current affairs also. One more thing you should do. Let me give a quick example. Say you have studied GDP. Now you know there's a concept called base year. Now just wait for 2-3 days, maybe within 15 days, 20 days, or a month, ministry is going to change the base year officially. So once you read this news, you should add it in your notes, so that even while revising the notes, news is also getting revised. Making sense? So it is very essential that you should be making your notes synchronized with your current affairs. And that is what is again very important. Fine. Now, the next thing which I was just saying to you, why you should have previous year compilation. Because sometimes you ask, why should I do the previous year question paper? While doing question paper, when you do the questions, you come to know what kind of questions might be asked. Like they have asked this question, say for example, that if you withdraw rupee this, what will be the impact on money supply? This question is not important as of now, but at least you know not that they may ask question on money supply. That's why once you do the previous year question paper, you come to know what could be the syllabus, what could be asked, what kind of mistakes you can do. In fact, this question has been repeated also. Sometimes questions are repeated also, not exactly the same question, but the essence remain the same. So that is how, similarly, if you see that, let's say, this question, they've asked what is demand pull inflation. Now, once you do these kind of questions, you come to know. And while doing questions, look at this. Let's say you are doing this is previous year question paper, right? Don't just look at what is the answer. Also look at what is this expansionary policies, what does it mean, what fiscal stimulus means, what inflation index wages means. Then you'll see that you now understand various aspects of the question. So doing previous year question paper, don't just look at the answer, this is answer. Look what are other options, what did they mean, what is the meaning of them. Then you'll see that you're getting more organized in your answers. Similarly, let's say this was a question asked about, this is a kind of crude oil, West Texas Intermediate. Now, once you know this, you understand, okay, something related to energy, something related to crude oil, and these kind of terminologies, I should be reading them. So again, previous year question paper should be done very actively. Actively means look at the question and try to understand why that question was asked, what is so important in that, and what are other options also. Similarly, if you see the mains question, look, they have asked these kind of questions that what do you define potential GDP. Now you know the first topic which I said, they have asked question on it. So try to write these answers. Then you can evaluate yourself or by your concerned teachers and all, where you're going wrong, what can be further added and so and so. Then what are the main constraints in the transport and marketing of agriculture produce? Say for example, this question is asked. So you know, okay, food processing, agriculture marketing, these kind of topics are important. They've asked question on food processing. So now this way, previous year question paper of mains and prelims are actually your anchor. They can tell you in which direction you should go, where are the challenges, how you can improve yourself, and so and so. Making sense? I hope I'm not going very fast, am I? I know your time is valuable and you had been sitting for quite a time. So I would like to say that thing by proper utilization of it. So this is how we got why you should be looking into the previous year question paper and what is the relevance of it. So now you know it is Indian economy, not economics. Now you know that in prelims it is very important, because if you do 10-12 questions of economics well, you have reached 1/5 of the journey. Now you know in mains GS paper 3, having almost half of the paper from economy, that makes it again very important, and maybe one essay from economics also might be asked, socio-economic nature. But very importantly, that in the economics we have element of predictability also, where the questions of mains can be easily anticipated and guessed that from where question might be asked. Then I told you that what are major concerns which you may face. I identified 5 major concerns which you may face. First, what should be the sources? So what should be the syllabus? Second, what should be the sources? How to handle current affairs? Why you should do the previous year question papers? And last, why it is important to make proper notes. So I hope so far we have understood that why it is important to have question, what is the source, and how you should have limited sources instead of jumping here and there, how you should handle current affairs, why reading newspaper is essential, then what are the syllabus, right? Now, last but not the least, this is also very important. This is something which determine your selection to a significant level, that how proper your notes are. Because if you are not making proper notes, what will happen? You will jump here and there. And before examination, when time is the constraint, you will feel lost. Okay, you have to read so many things now. There's one thing called recency effect. In psychology, what is recency effect? You often remember, let's say if I take 10 names, here, starting from Sachin Tendulkar, Amitabh Bachchan, this, that, Mahendra Singh Dhoni, Virat Kohli, Yuvraj Singh, say I give 10 names. The first name you will remember for sure. The last name you will remember for sure. And in between you can recall 3-4 names depending upon whom you like more. So in the whole year, how much you have studied is not that much important. In last 20 days, what you have studied is very important. Last 20 days, and that's called recency effect. Because in last 20 days, what you have studied, you can recall for longer period. So, and last 20 days, you should have a very good note, having everything into it, so that you are not to go here and there. That's why make your proper notes. So notes will help you to have what is called recency. You can recall it in the last days. Notes will be useful in organized revision, that you can revise it many times. Note will be useful for the maximum utilization of resources. You can go for better utilization of your resources, and you can avoid unnecessary compilation of questions and data from here and there and that kind of thing. How to make notes? If you ask me, I'll suggest you one thing. Even you can do this kind of thing. Wherever you're writing, draw a line on both the sides. So let's say you're reading GDP. So you're taking class or you're doing yourself, whatever. So you read GDP. Now you make your proper notes of GDP. Then let's say you are reading NCERT or any other book. You can also add from NCERT, this is additional information. Fine. Now, when you're keeping this space, why it is there? Let's say now after doing all these things, you are solving questions. While solving questions, you got very important information. Come and write here that from that book, page number, this question was there and this information was there. What is the advantage? When you're revising this, even this is revised. Making sense? Let's say tomorrow you got a news, current affairs related to GDP. You can add here. Again, give the date, on which date this news was. So when you're revising it, your current affairs are also getting revised. And that's how, by being organized, trust me, this examination is not about reading a lot. It's about being organized. That's why you can see youngsters are getting more selected. In this examination, still, the average age of selection is 23-24. Most of the candidates are of this age group. That means this examination is not about a lot of knowledge. It's about how organized you are, how methodical you are, and your notes will prove that. So this way you can maximize your output. Be efficient instead of jumping here and there. So these are some of the things which you should keep in mind as per significance of notes are concerned. Making sense? So this is something which I wanted to talk about. I hope I kept it short by telling the basic things. There are 5 major things related to economy from beginning to final. That is, you must understand that economy is something very important from prelims point of view. In mains, we have predictability. I've already given you the second slide of the syllabus, which talks about all these things. Then again, if you see that in economics, handling current affairs is something very significant, and doing previous question paper will tell you that in which direction you should go. Always, not only in economics, in other subjects also, your notes should be very proper, because more organized notes means in the last days of examination, you have not to jump here and there. You have your source, proper source, you can rely on these sources. So these are the few things I wanted to talk about in economy. I hope I made sense to you and this session was profitable to you. If you have any question, you can quickly ask so that we can call it a day, so that we can call it the session. Anything if you want to ask? Is that fine? Clear to all of you? All right, so thank you. This is it, and all the best for your forthcoming examinations. Thank you.